You've done an incredible job of creating a life and learning to exist in a world that really let you down in the beginning, right? Like those things aren't supposed to happen to kids. We've all come here with a divine purpose, traveling on a stream of cosmic dust from the stars into our mother's wombs, born into this precious life. It is no accident that you are here, my love, on earth, in this moment, in this body. You are here longing to find your place, to align with your purpose, to embody your passions and to live into the dreams of your heart. Yet so often we get caught, suspended in the tangle of life, not able to move forward, not able to find solace and comfort in a world that has forgotten the truth of our existence. As we begin to remember, as we peel back the layers, as we come together to uncover our unique gifts and reconnect with our authentic selves, we are able to see another way of being, a new possibility, a different life waiting to be lived. I have experienced on this complicated and wild journey of life that when we connect with the story of our soul, it will show us the magic of this life that we have been missing. It will open a window into the very heart of who we truly are, of who we came here to be, and gives us answers to our ever-asking why. Hello, my loves. Welcome back to the show today. Happy to be here with you with a very intriguing and interesting episode. Lis is here with us today, believing and connecting to this idea that she was cursed when she was 14. An event happened that sent her on a downward spiral into depression and really changed her life for a significant amount of time. And while a curse seems very possible and is something that does happen, curses are real. There's ones that can be enacted in our current day. And yet there are also ones that play out through our family lines, through what can be referred to as karmic loops that we get stuck in. And this is the beauty of really taking our lives to the next level and bringing in energetic and spiritual tools. This is where we can find these things in our field, in our lives, and we can track them and we can change them, we can clear them. So even though Lis thinks this is possibly what happened to her, what we discover is something different. And I'm really excited to share this episode with you because what happened to Lis happens to so many of us, where we grow up in environments that are not safe, where we're not protected, and our energetic field is growing as we grow. And so those formative developmental stages that we move through, in vitro, 0 to 2, 2 to 4, 5 to 7, 8 to 14, these create the layer of our energetic body, and that is what informs our physical body. So when we are not given a safe environment that is protected as our energetic field is growing, this can create lots of problems in our adult life because we are running these programs that were put in place as survival strategies from a very young age. So in this reading, we look at how our energetic development during puberty particularly was for Lis, and what happens if we are left unprotected during that period of time. We look at how patriarchal beliefs can interfere and affect this development and how they have done this. And then we look at the survival techniques and how and why they have been established in our youth and how they're still showing up today. And I think this episode really speaks to how healing our trauma from our younger years is so important to live as a thriving adult, because we are always being informed by it if we are not willing to pause and to look at it and to work through it so that it can be released and it can be changed. So before we dive into this vulnerable and really, really informative reading, I wanted to let you know that I have one space available for personal one-on-one mentorship. If you have been waiting for a sign, if you are interested, if you know that it's your time, you know this spot is for you. It opened up in my schedule and it has your name on it. You know you're ready. You know it's time. And I'm here for you. So let's create some magic together, my love. There's a link in the show notes that you can apply for this spot. And I look forward to hearing from you. As always, I love you, and I'm so grateful that you are on this journey with me. Hi, Liz. Welcome to the show. How can I help you today?
I would like to explore witchcraft in my family, and I think I was cursed at 14. And I'm not clear on these things, so I just want to see what you can see and what we can find out about that.
Yeah, thank you. What would make you think that you were cursed at 14?
Well, from that time, I started having like a really hard time at school, and I spiraled into depression and things like that. Like my life was, I would say, relatively normal up until that point.
Okay. And did any event happen or anything that you remember that sort of began these things?
Yes. So it was a conversation, or at least this is my idea, a conversation with one of my classmates where I was like, hey, all the girls, this, I have to give the context. Teenage girls around eighth grade, we all have a crush on the same guy. And I was told to be the liaison. So I go and I talk to him. I'm like, all the girls think you're cute. And Sheena wants to know, are you gay? And that was the beginning.
What happened? What did he respond?
He was shocked. He looked at the other popular guy that was standing next to him and like just made a face, confused. And he was an immigrant, by the way. Like he came from Germany or somewhere, and he had a really cool accent. So I don't know how to really explain, but I thought I was being bold and cool, but it was kind of like, oh no, I really embarrassed him, and I really liked him. So
How was your relationship with him after this happened?
we didn't have a relationship before or after, but I always like had a huge crush on him. Like I begged my parents to give me money so I could buy Valentine's Day chocolates for him. I'm laughing at myself, sorry.
So, why were you the one that went up to ask him and not one of the other girls?
I guess they were okay, like giggling and talking about how cute he was, but they're not bold enough to actually talk to him.
And I wonder why you wanted to know if he was gay. How did that happen?
I didn't really have that thought or concept of it. It was just one of the other girls' questions. And I said, oh, I'll ask.
Okay.
Because she did end up dating him later on, the same one who told me to ask.
So, what I'm sensing is a lot of energy around the heart and not a curse, but a sense of where he was affected energetically in his heart by your question. And it caused some of his heart chakra to fracture. And those pieces went out onto you. So there was an energetic exchange that was unusual. So After that happened, what did you make that situation mean about you?
Well, I felt socially awkward. I guess I could say that has been my situation most of the time. Like, I don't have a good sense of what's inappropriate to say or ask. And now I'm actually exploring the possibility that I might be on the spectrum because that's one of the symptoms. You're like, you just say inappropriate things and you don't know it until people's reaction is really negative. So I guess I've agreed with some people that I can be insensitive. And at that moment, I was insensitive with him. And then a lot of the men that I feel attracted to, I feel like they're out of reach or out of my league.
How's your relationship with your father?
Oh, terrible. Why did you have to ask? My father has been verbally abusive as long as I can remember. What some parents these days would call physical abuse or child abuse, my parents considered discipline. So I have a mixture of that, spankings and then verbal abuse. But me and him do not get along well. He usually says something disrespectful or insulting that causes me want to not have a relationship with him.
Mm-hmm. How much work have you done around healing that wound?
A whole lot for the longest time. I mean, I'm introverted, kind of stay to myself. So for the longest time, I wouldn't say anything. And so now it's speaking up, receiving more verbal abuse. And then I've learned a term called gaslighting. My sister's been to therapy around it, and she's like, he's a full blown narcissist, give up. But I don't know. I also see he has a lot of trauma from his childhood, which he refuses to look at. So I have hopes that one day he'll be able to face that and heal.
Do you in any way make that your responsibility that he needs to heal?
No. At one point, I was trying to push him to do things, and now I don't. I'm just trying to like stay away from him, create a healthy separation there because it seems like he goes out of his way to say cruel things.
Yeah, that sounds like healthy boundaries to really just remove yourself from a situation when someone else is not willing to work on their part of what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, as I look at that time in your life and with this understanding of how you were supported parentally, what can happen, right? So, it's not a curse that happens in this type of situation. Depression comes from stagnation of energy. And when you are, I think, am I remembering you said 14, correct?
Yeah.
You're in a very important energetic developmental cycle as well as your physical, right? You're going through puberty. There's a lot that is happening on the physical, but there's even more that is happening on the energetics. And when you are left in that place unprotected, and not just in your case, but unprotected, but being harvested in a way, right? Like your dad's inability to even take care of himself and then lashing out at you and creating this angst in you, this unrest, all of this creates a situation inside you that makes you prone to outside stimuli in a way that is different for people whose energetic bodies are protected as they're growing up. So, does that make sense?
Oh, on many levels, that spoke to me.
Yeah. So here you are, right, in a very fragile state energetically. And you go up to this boy, and his response has an energetic component to it that your body then looks at as rejection, being unsafe. Oh gosh, I did something wrong. Like a number of different stories and beliefs and programs that get activated because they're already running. So I see him more as a catalyst for something that was already there. So at that point, right, your body is trying to make sense of a world, and it will often create protective measures in those places. But what can happen is the energy stagnates because it's not running through your body the way that it's intended. And then that stagnation causes the depression. It causes things to start not going well.
Oh, yeah. I'm like feeling a lot in my body right now about how dark, like literally dark, that time was for me. And it was just 1 year in a private Christian school. My parents had pulled us out of public school, but it was not a good time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this adds a lot to the picture because you are now an unprotected woman inside a school that is supporting a patriarchal belief system. And I don't mean any disrespect if to religion or to you or anything in that, but just energetically speaking, this is a thing. So you walked into a place where there's a lot of beliefs about women and our place in society and our place in the world. And your energy field was unprotected. You're being abused at home. And now you are just really open and vulnerable to a lot of collective energetic structure and beliefs and programs that would have had free reign on you because you were not able to defend yourself against them.
Okay.
So what are you making with all of this? Because it's a lot.
I was thinking about my brothers and my sisters. I had a younger sister and two older brothers, and they created this. I don't know if the word sadistic fits, but there's this game that they created where they would hunt for their brother or sister at school. And if they could catch them while they weren't looking, they would drop kick them in the back. And they started playing this game. So this is my brothers and my sister. And one of their friends named Josh decided he would join the family game, and he kicked me in my back. That just came up. And my brother got mad at him. It's like, you're not part of the family. You can't just kick my sister. But what kind of upbringing creates that as a game to play at school? I was reflecting on that, like, because it caused a lot of physical pain.
Mm-hmm.
And they thought it was just funny.
Well, when kids grow up in homes where they are not supported and where they're abused, there's a lot that happens with our power, right? So your dad is actively taking power of the kids that belongs to the kids in his behavior. And it sounds like your mom as well. So children are very, very resourceful. They're like, I need power. I can't survive without it. I'm going to go get it however is necessary, however I can. And kicking somebody is a sure way to get some power out of them, right? There's a physical force, like you're just trying to force power out of people to get it. And there's also the pain factor, right? You're in so much emotional turmoil that if you can spread some of that out into the physical, then at least there's a disbursement so that you don't have to feel it so much energetically and emotionally. You can now spread it out into the physical too. So it's a little easier to bear. So I see that as a way of you guys trying to survive a really hard situation.
Well, thank you for bringing some clarity.
You're welcome.
Wow. I used to make fun of my sister for going to therapy, but now I'm like, oh, this is deep. This is deeper than I thought. I think I need some counseling and therapy too.
Yeah, my love, it would be really, really supportive of you.
Yeah.
And you've done an incredible job of creating a life and learning to exist in a world that really let you down in the beginning, right? Like those things aren't supposed to happen to kids.
Mm-hmm.
How can I support you from here?
I was sitting there reflecting. I'm like, well, what else does Sarah need to ask? You have given me clarity on where to look, where you were saying that these things or these programs were there, and then that situation was like a catalyst to activate them to where I went full blown into this downward spiral. And so, yeah, I can see from that point, I was just like hiding, 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 feeling very unsafe in the school environment, in my home environment. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for bringing a very vulnerable topic. Does this feel like an okay place to land today?
Yeah, because I do have several processes that I use to kind of dive into what's there and unresolved traumas and things. And I've been working on it diligently for like 5 years. So I'm going to explore what else is there from what you were able to open up for me today. I'm deeply appreciative because it's easy to just chalk it off. Oh, well, he cursed me. And then it's like, no, 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 it's not that simple. It's layers and layers of different things that were going on.
Yeah, and I would add to that, my love, that you probably needed to think it was a curse to get you through to this part where you're ready now to recognize that it's something deeper.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much, Sarah.
Yeah, thank you.